Who's the common average fan rooting for individually? The NBA is a league of star power, as Chad's alluding
I don't
to.
know.
Other than Steph Curry, who are you rooting for?
We talk about certain teams being good for their league. Knicks are one of those teams. It's been an eternity for the Knicks. We're talking the Patrick Ewing Knicks. Them being good is good for the league. And Knicks or Nets going far is good for the NBA. Just in terms of the eyeballs that are going to be on, New York City eyeballs on the NBA is going to up the rating.
Well, it's a real test to the star treatment of the NBA. The NBA is a star-driven league, and you need stars to sell. Are people lining up to watch Julius Randle?
Not yet.
And the Knicks? See,
No.
This is team versus stars.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose is past his prime. Julius Randle is the star of the Knicks. R.J. Barrett's going to be a really good player.
They're a good team to watch, but they don't have the star power.
But it's the Knicks.
Nets have the star
Right,
power.
it's the market. But this is where team versus star
It's an
comes into
interesting
conflict
contract.
because I'm interested in the Knicks because they haven't been good in so long. But if I'm going to tune in to watch a game, I'm probably going to watch Giannis and the Bucks over the Knicks for the star power, even though it's Milwaukee versus Manhattan in terms of market.
You're certainly going to watch the Nets.
I think it would be great for the league for people to be interested in the Knicks because that is a major market team with some history that it's good for the league if they're good, but it's also a team that lacks star power.
Well, some of those guys could become stars in
The
this
playoffs can make
playoff
them.
run. But the Nets are the star power team, right?
Here's
Yes.
the biggest question
Though Kyrie
I have.
Irving's not particularly interested in basketball.
Who's the common fan that with no rooting interest in team? Who's the common average fan rooting for individually? The NBA is a league of star power, as Chad's alluding
I don't
to.
know.
Other than Steph Curry, who are you rooting for? Steph Curry is likable. Who's the
next?
hero? Chad, you brought this up. The NBA
Giannis.
needs a hero. Other than Steph Curry,
Who is it?
who's the hero of this league? Because everyone is hated.
Steph Curry became.
It's not LeBron.
Yeah.
It's not Durant.
LeBron is now as divisive of a sports superstar as you're going to find. So it's definitely not him. They don't have, clearly, we could always go back to Michael Jordan and say they haven't had Michael Jordan since Michael Jordan was in the league, but they just don't have. Hutton, when we started getting back in the NBA, what was the reason? It was the plucky, upstart, high-scoring Golden State Warriors. They became a hero with Steph Curry.
But even
Steph
LeBron
Curry,
James has been the hero. When
Yes.
he went back to Cleveland, he was the hero. The NBA doesn't have that guy right now, other than Curry, who's bringing the Warriors back to the postseason and winning the scoring title
Can
again.
Milwaukee be that team? Is he, Giannis, got that?
Giannis is extremely likable. I mean, he would be
Yeah.
on my list.
Yeah, he would be close to the top
if
of the
they
list.
take off, maybe people get into that storyline, but they're not into that storyline at the start. I don't feel like, right?
Well,
if
so
they get going, maybe you get on board.
We've had this discussion. Look, we're a show that has an enemies list, for God's sake. So we understand the need for a villain and the need for an adversary in sports. And that is a uniting factor in all sports that are successful.
But it's got to be a villain.
You
to
got to
somebody.
have someone that you
Right.
hate.
Villain to
Right?
somebody.
But this is the problem with the NBA. Everyone hates everyone in the NBA now. There's not. I never thought we'd get into an issue with a league where there's not a good guy to root for. This is the team you want to win. John Elway. Boy, everybody could get behind John Elway winning his first Super Bowl when he was making his run. You go through it, there's always that good guy story. And I'm not saying the NBA is filled with nothing but villains, but in terms of public interest, Steph Curry's won titles. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a good story. He's going to win the MVP. He's the second man ever to win a scoring title past his 33rd birthday. The other one, oh, by the way, is Michael Jordan. So people are going to root for Steph Curry, but I don't see that one uniting star that it's their time to win a title. Or the team that, boy, they've been knocking on the door and now it's time to win the title. Look at the top seeds in the playoffs. The Utah Jazz, the Phoenix Suns. Anyone heroic on these teams that I need to be getting behind? Maybe there are, and I'm missing the boat. The Philadelphia 76ers, is that a roster that inspires a unifying moment of sports fans everywhere to damn it, the Sixers got to win it this year. It's their year. It's going to happen.
How about
I just don't see
Westbrook?
it.
Maybe like if the Wizards
Westbrook
do
is
something.
not a likable dude.
Well,
he is a malcontent that had a huge attitude problem that's worked his way out of every good
Making
situation.
$41 million this year.
Selfish.
Statistically, he's interesting because of the triple-double.
Yeah, he can do it
But
all.
again, I mean,
but
there's plenty of guys statistically. I mean, Carmelo Anthony statistically was a great player, but I don't know that many people are rooting for Carmelo Anthony, who's never seen a shot he doesn't like.
the
So I
Wizards
think
are an
the-
example
no,
of a team like the Knicks. You root for, like, I don't know if they have villains, meaning like you're not gravitating to root for them to win a title. But they were at one point like 8-14 overall.
Yeah.
And I saw one of the sports books put out that someone put $10,000 back in February on the Wizards to win the title. That wager will win that person $5 million. That was the odds against the Wizards to win a title, and now they're among the top teams in the league. How quickly they turn things
I don't want to
around.
get big into the storyline because the storyline annoys the crap out of me. But I think we're hitting here on the lack of hero. And I just, listen, I've said for years, I don't think the product is that good. It's not that compelling to me. And so in this overwhelming conversation about the ratings being down, the people who want to talk about the wokeness killing them miss this.
It's a
to
huge
me.
problem. They have not missed it.
It's definitely a part of it.
It's a huge issue for them.
I'm saying it's a part of it, but they fail to mention that the quality of the product isn't good, and that the hero stuff isn't good.
How many years, though, Paul, have I been saying that you can tune into the final 3 minutes of the NBA and get your game?
I've said it
years.
forever.
And all of a sudden the ratings are bad. All of a sudden
but the ratings
quality's
were
down.
fine then. I mean, I don't. Here's where I would go with.
I think plenty of people like me have turned off the NBA because it's not interesting.
And there were
Not
plenty of
because
people,
the politics.
unlike you, who are still watching that no longer do.
I agree. I think there's a lot of people on both ends of that. And it is an issue. And I would say this, Paul, to your thing about the quality of the game is down, how much does the wokeness contribute to the quality of the game being down? Because players aren't getting worse.
No, they're not. They're getting better.
You mentioned Kyrie Irving doesn't seem to be interested in playing basketball. I could say that about LeBron James at times, based on things that he seems more interested in. There's a lot of, this happened in this city, so we're not playing for the next week. What?
There hasn't been any of that this year.
But I mean, there's times where that happens, right? So, why do you think the quality of the game's down?
I just
Could that be a contributing factor to it?
No, because it's.
You don't think you said Kyrie Irving's not interested in playing basketball?
It's not been good for a long time. It's not been good. NBA basketball to me has not been a compelling
But then
product
why
for
did
a
the
long
ratings
time.
just suddenly go down as steeply as that?
I don't know. I don't know
Because
people
I
who
don't
watch
think
the
it's
NBA.
gotten. I don't think it's gotten. I'll say it this way. I don't think the quality of the game has gotten that much drastically worse to contribute to it over the last year. I do think that while not a factor for everyone, you're right there. It is a factor for a lot of people that like sports that would have watched the NBA otherwise.
I'm merely saying the people I know who stopped watching the NBA have stopped a good while ago, and they stopped because the marketplace became filled with a
even
lot
those
of other
people,
options
Paul,
to go to Netflix and whatever, and they decided
It's
my
not just
sporting
about Netflix.
landscape
The
is going to
ratings
include
dropped
fewer sports.
34%. People are referencing the 34% drop in viewership, and you think it's just because the product is worse? Again, the final 3 minutes has been a theme of me since we've been together doing a show.
I say the wokeness is an ingredient of it, but I keep reading, especially at our site, that's all it is. It went woke and people turned it off, and they're not acknowledging that the game is a boring game.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified every time OutKick 360 goes live. We are live weekdays, 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, right here across the OutKick network. And while you're at it, like this video and let us know what you think in the comments below.